It's exhilarating. Sometimes it's overwhelming, but it's for the most part I enjoy it. I just love seeing the magic of the creation of music and you know being able to do that. Brings a lot of joy to my life. My influences for hip hop, it was basically I want to say just listening to a lot of music back in the early 2000s. Um, I was I was encouraged a lot by the artist 50 Cent. Um, as far as his beat selection goes, and also his approach to music in general. He came in strong, even though there was a bunch of other artists and producers, I admire the way he came into the game and just took it by storm. I would describe my style very different because I try to I try to add a little bit of the old in with the new. I know like most people don't really do that nowadays. Um, so I won't say that I know exactly where I stand as far as the game goes, but I just feel like I'm in my own lane. Well, to start, I'm gonna say that album itself, it wasn't completely planned out. It was kind of a winging it. I kind of winged it the whole time. Not necessarily because I wasn't ready to do it. It's just more so if I had so many different songs that I didn't know what to choose from at the time. Um, also, uh, it was a bunch of different artists that I heard in the songs before I got the songs done. Like I kind of wanted to. I really wanted to get the beats corrected and the artist of choice per beat. I wanted to make sure I had every selection correct for that. Um, and with everyone that I invited, they did their thing. Big shout out to all of them. But as far as they're doing the beats and also the vocals, it's a crazy experience uh, because it's rare that you actually hear artists on both their own beats and they're doing the vocals anymore. Um, the song was based on, well, the album was set in line of chakras. I can't really remember the track listing names for all the songs right at the moment. But to start off with Journey to Osiris, it was kind of like a journey through the heart, or through the heart chakra rather. It talked about just it talked about being on this journey of life. You know what I mean? And just the ups and downs and all the different things that you learn, from, basically from the time that you're a child up until an adult age, and also the things that you'll probably continue to learn even in your future. So that's basically what Journey to Osiris is about. Um, the next song, the come up, that was more of a throat chakra type of thing for me because it allowed me to speak on different things about life. Um, and there was a person that sang the hook for me. She did a very, very good job. And she portrayed, and I actually wrote the hook. She portrayed the portion of the throat chakra where it explains to the people that it doesn't matter what people think about you. They have their own lives to live, and so do you. And you should go live yours while I live mine. Just to sum it all up, the song was based on the chakra situation, mostly because it was a build up through all of them. If you are a person who understands how the chakras work, then you understand what I'm talking about. Especially when it comes from living in the root chakra and to rising up to your crown chakra. All of these songs go through those different levels, and you would really have to, listen. You just really have to listen to understand it. I see everyone's album, no matter who's dropping what. I feel like it's all a journey through somebody's mind. Um, I feel like everyone's trying to, give you a story or a painting, some form of art from their perspective, and it's through, of course, it's through words and melodies and all of that. But I feel like it's still a painting that they're trying to give someone. And I look at everybody's art like that, no matter who or what type of genre it is. I noticed that Kiza, when he does his beats, at least the ones that that I get from him, um, they have a sort of emotion to them, and it's not necessarily sadness or anything like that. A lot of them, they have their own feel, and what I like to do is I like to listen to it and see what the beat tries to tell me that it wants, and I find the emotion that the beat wants, and I go from there. I attack it with that intent. Yeah, I have a couple favorite songs. From Shadow Tape One, more specifically, my favorite one is Violence in Chess, with Emergency, and great artist by the way. But that song was very special because it allowed me to really just be free. You know what I mean? Like especially like if you've heard the song before, you know how the hook in the song goes. It's it's very different, and at the same time, it's very open. And cutthroat. And that was one of my favorites for Shadow Tape One. As for Shadow Tape Two, um, one of my favorites is The War Within. Um, another one from that one is the song Flawless. That's one of my favorites. Don't get me wrong, I really love them all. So I'm really pulling hairs here to pick them out. Um, but and there was another song on the Shadow Tape 2 called Shadow Tape 2, TOO. And I think that was one of my favorite too because it allowed me to be very expressive as far as aggression goes. Yeah, so basically I understand today, and especially today in today's music and rap, um, a lot of people are all rapping about the same things, and they're all either that or they're all trying to sound like each other, and it gets really repetitive. And that's no offense to anybody's music; it's just my opinion, my personal taste. Um, but it really all a lot of it sounds repetitive, and it seems like people aren't really talking about what they really want to talk about. They're just talking about what's trending or what's in style. So they stay relevant, and it's understandable if you're trying to get into the game, become a commercial rapper, actually get radio play, that's important to you. I get that. But with what I try to accomplish with Shadow Take Two is to just be free to be who I am, not just on a song, but like in these songs, I'm portraying a lot of who I am in real life. You know what I mean? That person that you get before he walks out of the house. That's who I try to portray myself as on Shadow Take Two. I'm to be honest, I'm really not sure where I think hip hop's gonna go because I could see where it's at now and from where it came from, like the actual boom bap era to the 2000s where it was in the transition. It was in the transition phase, to being what it is today, which is like a lot of trap and drill. Um, and some of it is good, you know. As far as where it's gonna go afterwards, I'm drawing a blank because I can't see what the future would look like as far as musically because the music isn't really telling stories anymore. You know, it's not really substance in the music anymore to enlighten you on what the possibilities and the changes of hip hop really could have been. Um, I don't feel like it should have to remain underground. Even though I do agree with it being underground, specifically because it separates it separates us from the people who are just doing it commercially. You know, just for the trend of doing music, just for the sake of rapping. 'Cause I feel like there's a huge difference that a lot of people don't talk about between rapping or rap and hip hop. I feel like there's a huge difference in between the two. Um, I think my two biggest self-reflective songs would be Origins on Shadow Take Two, and also The War Within on Shadow Take Two. I mean, I feel like it's important because it gives the listener an idea of what or who I am behind the music. You know what I mean? Because I feel like I could rap about being in clubs or being in the streets, anything, and that's it could be good music, but if you don't really give the listener a story about who you really are, what you really come from, outside of saying I was on the block, you know what I'm saying? That I feel like you kind of selling the listener short a little bit, and I feel like it's important to be able to speak on who you personally are, because it makes another person relate to you because they might say, "Oh, he's actually been through some of the same things that I'm going through now, or I went through in the past as well. I can relate to this person." I would say it's kind of perspective, but in my own perspective, I would say that art to me is the ability to paint an image with words. Not just listen, but when you hear the words, you can see like a movie being played out in your mind of what I'm personally thinking. You know what I'm saying? And I deliver that, or just like any other artist, we deliver that in a way that that also is catchy, so you'll want to hear it again. You know what I mean? So to make it to make your mind cling on to this image. Long history with those two guys. I've known them since around 2009. Um, we kind of clicked right away. We actually met on a day job, and um, we were outside having a conversation, and it was a bunch of other coworkers as well, not just Jubei and Potent. Um, and actually, I met Potent a little later. I had heard a lot about him, but I met Jubei first, and we met, and we were discussing songs and everything, and music and writing verses. We were talking about all of that, and he heard some stuff that I did. I heard some stuff that he did, and we actually just agreed to do a song together. And ever since then, we just clicked. You know, not too long after, I met Potent, which is they're actually cousins. him and Jubei. Um, and it took a while because a lot of the beats for well, a couple of the beats for that album were already made years ago. Um, just never got around to recording music because we were all starting to be separated, due to life situations. I'm up here in Connecticut, Jubei's in North Carolina now, and Potent, he's in Long Island. So we're all kind of spread out. But we worked together. Jubei actually drove up from North Carolina, recorded the first four songs, which was Good Business and um, Click Clack. Um, I'm trying to really go on a blank here. Uh, but and that one and a couple others he recorded that same day when he drove up from North Carolina, and him and Potent came over to my house together to record. And then afterwards, Jubei went back to North Carolina, and we had to get the rest of the album recorded. It's a longer story than I want to lead on to, but I ended up flying out to North Carolina for family personal reasons, and we recorded the second half of the album, got it done, and came back home, did all of the editing, and pushed the album out. Ah man, Warriors with the Deepest Soul, man. It's solid too. It really is. And Emerge DMC, Anti Fable, Big Perk Don, Iron Orphan. You know, forgive me for the other ones I didn't know. It's a long list. As you know, we've had a lot of people in that group, and there's still some of them I haven't even worked with yet. We actually have some stuff planned. We will be doing some stuff soon. But as far as the ones that I've currently been working with, amazing people, man. Really amazing people. Honestly, I can't thank them enough, for the support and believing in me just as much as I believe in them. And big shout out to ISIS for picking me up. Actually, you know, uh, we got a lot of great things coming. We got a lot of great things accomplished already, whether or not it's really everyone knows about it or not. But yeah, it's an amazing experience so far. A
Amazing.
lot of musically talented people there, whether it's production or vocally. My dream project. Uh, I just my I just want to continue to make good music with great people. You know what I mean? I don't really have a huge dream project. I really just want to make timeless music and continue to do it as long as I can do it, as long as it's enjoyable. I don't really have a dream project, but I just love to have a definitely love to have a project with every artist that I know, and maybe a few artists that I don't know, everybody who listened or everybody listening, keep being creative, keep being yourself. Don't be afraid to be you on your in your music. You know what I'm saying? The world needs that more than anything. People to just be themselves. And I just say salute to everybody.